Okay, so we have refactored into a context, and it is time to add edit functionality to our app. So the way I'm figuring this, edit is going to be just like the delete, where we add an edit button here, only it's going to be a little bit different in that it's going to toggle an edit mode, which when we're in edit mode, it will show a form instead of just the task. It will show a form with the task in it. And when you submit that form, it will then go ahead and edit the task. So as always, we're going to begin with tests. And right now we only are showing the app. So we'll run all of the tests. And we have a problem. I should have done this before my last commit, but seeing as I didn't, I guess we're going to go through this. This is obviously the result of having switched to a context. So I'm pretty sure that the app itself is okay. And what we're looking at now is a failure in the tests. So we're looking at to do form. So let's go see. So to do form here, we're rendering it with no options, which is fine. And then here we're still handing in this mock submit thing. Okay, so the issue is going to be now that to do form itself no longer takes anything and it uses this add to do. So we have to do something similar to what we did before and actually use the context. So we're going to import the context, to do provider. And similar to what I did before, I'm going to create a custom render function. So function custom render. And again, we're going to take in a component and some props. And we're going to return the to-do provider with values. These are our fake values of ... props. And inside, we're going to render our component, whatever we happen to pass in from the tests. Okay, now to make this thing a little bit easier to test, I'm going to try to run these one by one. So I can use this dot only. Okay. And it very much did not like that. Let's see if my little custom render function will fix it. So I'm going to custom render the to-do form, and it definitely needs an add to do in here. And they're all going to need that. So maybe I should just make one up at the top. No, that's all right. I'll just do it here. So here we're going to have add to do is just.fn. And let's see, and comment out this one, of course. And still all kinds of mess. And that's because I didn't render this. Okay, maybe that was only partially because I didn't render it. What do we got now? Delete to-dos. Oh, this is something different. Okay, so I'm going to change this now so that we are only running the to-do form test so that we can fix this one by one. Apparently there's more problems than just that form. Okay, so this one is okay, which means we can get rid of that line. Now here, I'm gonna dot only again, save it and expect this to crash. Here, I'm gonna take this line again. Is going to be mostly the same. That one's okay. We're going to come down here, expect it to crash again, paste in again. Let's try and paste it correctly this time. This line. Okay. come over here. Only, and this time it's finally going to be a little closer to what we really want. So we're going to render it, get rid of this one. And here, instead of this just being out here, we're just going to have this be mock. Oh, just going to rename this to do wherever we have it. And that fixes that. Okay, so this is fixed. And I'm going to go ahead and commit this change. So this was a fix of to-do form tests. To use context. Or to use to-do provider. All right. So that part is done. Let's come back and see what else is failing. So coming up here, this was to-do list. So let's limit ourselves to the to-do list tests. Okay, we'll open those. To-do list tests. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to make a function custom render. It's going to take in a component to render and props. And we're going to return render this time. Let's not forget that. And what I did forget this time was importing a provider. So we're going to import the to-do provider. Now we're going to return from here to-do provider values equals the props and our component. Okay. And here we're going to dot only again. Expect a failing test. Okay. This is going to be replaced with a custom render of list. And here we're going to have, what does to-do list take? To-do list takes to-dos. So we're going to make to-dos. And these just can be empty. There we go. Good. Out. I'll put it on this one. And delete this while we're at it. Okay, this line is going to be more of the same. So custom render, list, and use. And this time it has to be empty because that's what the test actually is. Okay, so that one is passing. This time it cannot be empty. So we'll get rid of this line and we will say the same thing. Custom render to do list and to-dos. Okay. Got one more. Does not show empty list when we have to-dos, which means that we need both of these lines again. And then we can get rid of all this. Good. So we get rid of this. All these tests should be passing. Nice. So I'm going to go ahead now and commit this one. This was a fix of to-do list tests. And this was refactor use to-do. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got. We run all our tests. And we have another crash, this time in to-do. So let's go to the to-do tests. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make this a dot only, expecting it to die. Let's create my custom thing and import. So we're going to import to-do provider from to providers to do provider. function custom render a component and some props, and returns render of provider values equals and spread the props and our custom component. Right. Now here, if we replace this, we're going to have to figure out what props the to-do needs. So custom render to-do, and we don't know what props it takes yet. But no props, I'm sure it's going to crash. We're probably going to have to open. Oh, look at that. Okay, this one is fine. Let's do the next. So it shows the task of a to-do. So custom render to-do, and it's going to take a to-do as a prop. Oh, so this time I have a new problem. This is not going to work. Why did that work? That should not have worked. If I have this as empty, something's not right. Oh, because I'm only running this one. It dot only. And this still won't work. And the reason this is not working now is because I have to somehow pass the to-do into the component. So here I'm going to say to-do is getting passed in. And if it's not passed in, then by default it's going to be, well, yeah, by default, I don't want it to be anything. I think that's the case. So here we're going to have to do equals to do. And hopefully, so I'm going to back this up a little bit. And we're going to do the dot only again over here. Make sure everything still works. That one does. Now we're going to come over here. This one's going to crash, which is fine. So these props are empty. And this one is the to-do. So that works. Now we can get rid of that. We can come down to the next one. And we need to now custom render do with delete do and to do. And this can go. That should fix it. Okay, excellent. Save it. The whole file should be good. And let us save all this. So here we're going to say fix do tests refactor. Okay. Next, we're going to run all the tests again. And now everything's good. We've got all tests passing. All right. So in the next video, I'm going to start with edit functionality.